Hey YouTube, it's Sunday. I haven't been doing a lot. We had company come up this weekend. My one daughter came up with her daughter, and they were cleaning up at the house in the second floor to get all the dust up. But anyway, so it's Sunday, and they just left, and I just wanted to show you. I bought this down at Lowe's the other day, and it kind of aggravated me because, you know, it's like $50 or $60 more. The one I had, which is laying in there on the floor, this one, is a Porter cable. And when I thought about the price and all, I mean, $329 kind of a little bit aggravating that it was so much more. But the price of stuff has gone up since, you know, this stupid virus has been around. But anyway, here's the good news. They got a nice big handle on the shut on and off, the switch. So I like that. The other thing is that the numbers on here are a lot bigger. You can actually read them a lot easier, you know, when you're running through the planer. They have a little thing on here to give you some minor adjustments. You would use this little line here, and if you want to go, 1/32, 3/32, stuff like that. It's a little bit nicer. The biggest thing that I saw that's the biggest change was that on this side here, where the sawdust comes out, they're handling this a lot better. Instead of it coming out of, just anywhere along there, they have it shooting downward sort of. So this is nicer. And then these two bolts come off, and you can actually put a plastic cover on there. I'll show it to you, that you can put onto a hose. So that's pretty nice as well. So let me just show that to you. So this would go on there, and then you can blow everything to the side. Now, I don't really want to blow stuff to the side outside, because if the wind picks it up, it'll be blowing it all over the yard. So I don't use this. I actually like it blowing right on the ground, because really I can bring my trailer over here with a snow shovel and pick this up in no time, and I don't have a problem doing that. So that's the one good thing, that there's a couple of better options on it. The other thing that I noticed, let me just put this away. The other thing I noticed is that it's a lot smoother running. It doesn't make near as much noise, and it also cuts better. And not only that, but the wood chips are bigger. And this is not because this is a new saw blade, or a new planer blade in there, but literally I have, you can see how big those chips are. I had put a new blade, brand new from the factory, onto the planer before it broke, and it never cut pieces this big. And it seems like it's doing it a lot smoother. So I'll start it up and show you how it's working, and I think it's working pretty nice. So this is a piece of rough cut pine. Almost at 2 inches, because I cut 2x2 rough cut. So I'm turning it over. This side's nice and smooth, so I'm turning it over to get the other side smooth, and also to do it before it's below 1 3/4 inches. I'm surprised at how nice it's cutting. have to put it through there 4 times because of the 4 sides. Plus, because I cut them at 2x2s, I got to get a 1/4 inch of wood off of it altogether. But I'll tell you what, it's really come out pretty nice. The snipe's not really bad enough to notice too much. So these get cut slightly to fit into the handrail on the deck up there. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here, and I think that the planer is really doing a nice job. I'm surprised, not because it's cutting as nice, but you know, I didn't know if it would or not. But the good thing about it is that it is a Craftsman. You know, and from days gone by, us older guys know Craftsman made some good stuff, but you know, it's new coming from Lowe's. I don't know if it's any good. So from what I can see, it looks like it's cutting good. I'll let you know how long it holds up and everything though, but for now you can watch the cutting, and I actually like it. So what we're doing here is the tables and everything were straight right out of the box. I put a straight edge on there and everything lined up, so I don't have to worry about that. So what you do with this thing is basically raise it so that it can go through, okay? So you can see I'm right about 2 inches there with this plaque. Turn it on. And then let it plane one side. Now you can see here it's playing from here down. Missed this because it's a little bit low. And then it planed some more of that. And the thing is that you know, usually by a knot you have problems because it doesn't shrink as much as, or even swell as much because of the knot being there. So I have to just run this in there again. So running it through a second time gives me a completely finished off board there, so it's nice. So I have to do it 3 more times at least to get the rest of it, you know, to what it ought to be. Planed it 4 times and all 4 sides are nice and flat. The problem is it's 1 3/4 this way and it's about 2 or 1 7/8 the other way. I want to try and make them all around 1 3/4. Usually between 1 1/2, 1 3/4, depends on what happens with the board. But sometimes the wood, you know, kind of stays a little bit big, doesn't lose as much moisture, or it's losing the moisture but it doesn't lose the size. And other times it doesn't move at all. It's just, you know, pretty much stays the same size. So all I want to do is just run this through here until I get down to 1 3/4. Probably 2 more passes. the one thing about wood is that it's not always the same size because of the drying. So sometimes some of the wood stays bigger, goes smaller. So to try and put more than one in at a time, like if you have two boards that are the same size, it's not too bad. You can probably put two at a time in. And but if you don't have the same size boards, then that's hardly worth it. And I found out that if you cut one at a time, it's actually easier for you to work. I'm not saying you can't cut two. I'll cut two here just with what I have. So there's two boards there. Problem there is like it hit here, this one, and it took it in, then it missed it here, and then it hit it at the back. This hit at the very front and the very back, but not in the middle. It doesn't matter what the board shape is. What matters is that they're different shapes, and you're not going to get them through there, you know, a couple at a time. So I mean, if you're, you know, in a big hurry and you're not wanting to do it this way, you can do it any way you want. But for me, I'm okay with this because I can stand in one place. And I can stand in one place and I can work through the entire process just by being right here at the side of the mill, or the side of the plane. Once you get it planed from one end to the other, that's when you want to turn it over. There's no sense in planing partially and then turning it back and forth. You're just wasting your time. So I planed this whole board now. It took the plane all the way down, and now I can turn it over and do the other side. It just seems to work the best for me. The other thing I want to say is when you're running this through there, you know, it's easy to get in the habit of running it at the same place, same place, same place. The problem with that is the rubber guide roller in there, you're wearing, offset a little bit. So you want to put it in, like I put one in here, and then try and work my way across and come back and work my way across again. It just seems like it works better if you do that. It'll last longer. So it ends up cutting very nice. I think the boards look good. You know, there's a little bit of snipe on the ends, which I'm not going to worry about on something like this. But gives me a nice area to be able to treat it. Sometimes you get a little flake out of there, like right here, there's a little flake out of it. But, you know, it's good enough for spindles on a porch. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just looking for nice. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9 of them so far, just for the couple minutes that we've been out here. And the thing is you can't really buy them planed as nicely as I'm buying, because, or as I'm making these. For some reason, the price of wood is sky high at the moment, and I mean, really, it doesn't have to be that. And you can see it looks pretty dirty and everything there. It only takes a second or two to just clean that up. So I'm happy with it. Now the only thing I'm not liking here with this after using it for about half an hour or so is that for some reason it seems to lift up. I'm not sure if maybe a bolt somewhere isn't down where it ought to be. Like this one's really tight over here, but for some reason this one over here is not tight. I don't understand why, but maybe if I tighten up on something I'll have to look at it and see what's going on. It's cutting nicely though, it's cutting real nice. It's just that sometimes when you put it through it seems like there's something going on with the machine that's separating this more than it ought to be. And I think it might be a bolt or something in there, a nut. So, alright guys, well I thought you'd like to see how that thing's working. I'll let you know how it holds up. Have a good one.